How are you doing today? This is Nisa with Nisa's Variety Show. And we have a goodie here today because I haven't done many desserts, or matter of fact, I haven't done any desserts. So today I'm gonna do a dessert that I made up and came up with myself. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the originator of this idea, because s'mores have been around for a long time. And so, but I have something called a s'mores brownie. And it just simply turns out to be delicious. First of all, you're going to need a good brownie mix. Okay, remember what I said in one of my other shows: wherever you can find a shortcut, take a shortcut. So they make plenty of brownie mixes that work great. Somebody went through the trouble of measuring out cocoa and flour and everything else that goes in it, and so you don't have to go through all the trouble of doing all that stuff. And in this recipe, you will need your marshmallows. And you can use big marshmallows or little marshmallows, it doesn't really matter. And you will need your chocolate bars. So I do have all of that stuff. Now, I have sort of a different way of making my brownies, and people seem to like them a lot better. And so I'm going to make my brownies the way I always make them. And so we're going to get started here. Now, one thing I do is I take about a quarter piece of butter. And you guys know I always use real butter. I have discussed in some of my other shows why I only use real butter. So this is real butter. In any of my recipes, that's the only thing you will ever find me using, is real butter. And so I'm gonna take this real butter and I'm gonna put it in my oven. And so, since my oven is heating up for the brownies, I'm gonna let this butter melt, because we're gonna use this butter in our brownie mix. Now, this is where I vary off the recipe somewhat, but I'll tell you what, once you use this and make your brownies with this butter, you'll never go back. So let me stick it up in here. I need to get my cookie sheet from over here. And I'm going to set my butter on top of it. And I'm going to just stick that in the oven so it can be melting. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my brownie mix in this box. Yes, in this box. I'm going to grab my scissors, and I need to grab my wooden spoon. Oops. I always like to use a wooden spoon when I'm making brownies. Cut that. I'm going to show you a couple of other tricks that I use too when I'm making things to keep stuff from sticking so much. All right, now another thing I do is I always follow the directions on the box. And so that just makes it come out the way it's supposed to be. Unless, like I said, I'm adding something a little different, which what I'm adding is a little butter. One of the first things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and move my brownie pan my brownie bowl out of the way, and I'm gonna bring my pan here. And I like for my brownies to taste like butter, you guys. I just love butter. And so I am going to take some butter and I am going to put it in my pan here. And then I'm going to take my hand and I'm just going to coat the whole inside of my pan with butter. And this actually keeps the brownie edges from coming out too hard. Now, one thing about this recipe, it actually somewhat would be better if you use like a 9x9, or what is that other size pan? A 9x, sorry, I can't see that all the way. I gotta get my other glasses. But a larger pan, so it can be a little bit thinner of a brownie. And you would have something more like a s'more. But I like thick brownies, and I like this s'mores in a thick brownie. So you can make it either way. The best way for you, yourself, and you. And so me, I'm making it. Yeah, so that other size is a 9x13 pan. So the next thing that I do is I take my cooking spray and I just lightly, very lightly, give that a spray. Because you have that butter in there and it's really going to keep it from sticking. So the first thing we need is our butter, and oil goes in first. So let me check on that. So I'll be right back. And my butter's still melting. Now I know you guys say, Nisa, why? Why do you never use the microwave and put your stuff in the microwave and at least melt your butter in the microwave? Well, I have my reasons for that. And it was a study done, and these are not my words. This was a study that was actually done by people who wanted to know what the reactions of plants would be with 3 different kinds of water. So they had tap water, distilled water, which is tap water boiled on the stove, and microwave water. Well, they had 3 plants, and they watered one plant with the tap water. The plant grew, it flourished, it lived, it was fine. They took the distilled water, they watered the second plant. The plant grew, it flourished, it lived, it was fine. Now the plant watered with the microwave water died within 1 week. So at that point, I stopped using the microwave. But my daughter still uses the microwave. My family members, they all use the microwave. I just don't use the microwave because, you know, sometimes when you find out better, then you just need to do better. But I don't try to make people do what I do. So you do what's best for you. And if using the microwave is something that you've always done and you don't have a problem with it, hey, keep on using it. I just don't use the microwave. I'm old-fashioned. The oven warms up my food just as good for me, or that air fryer over there does a great job. So I use those things when I am cooking. Now, I'm gonna get my butter out of the oven. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and as you can see, I have my butter in this measuring cup. Now, we need 2/3 cup of oil. So what I am going to do is I am going to pour the rest all in with this butter. Let me make sure it's 2/3. Okay, now I'm going to pour this vegetable oil, which is the best oil to use with your brownies, is vegetable oil. I'm gonna mix it in with this butter up to 2/3. Then I'm going to take my spoon, which I left over here, and I'm just gonna kind of mix this oil and butter together. Kind of just give it a little beat. And once that's all done, I will pour my oil into my brownie mixture. There we go. Got that in the sink. And now we will need 3 tablespoons of water. And for you guys who have watched me before, you know I live where? In the desert. So we mostly use bottled water here and not out of the tap. The tap water kind of tastes not so good, but we'll use this bottled water. Let me get 3 tablespoons. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3, everybody. Okay. So we can set that out of our way. And our last ingredient that goes in this is 2 eggs. Now, what I like to do with my eggs is I like to take them out ahead of time, somewhere around maybe an hour, and set them in a bowl. Because for some reason, cold eggs can sit up in a batter and not mix as well in it. And I know you've seen cakes sometimes that has a line in it of some look like some thick stuff, and that's really where your eggs were cold. And so excuse me, it's just better to let your eggs get up to room temperature, and so they work a lot better in your batters. So I'm going to crack my first egg, drop it in there. This recipe takes 2 eggs. And here's my second egg. Now with brownie mix, we want to really follow the directions, except for adding that butter, because you're gonna be glad you added that butter. So it's gonna give this brownie such a great taste. You're gonna want to do it all the time. So, but far as the rest of the directions, how to stir it and all of that kind of stuff, you do want to follow directions. And one thing that I always do with my utensils when I'm making any type of sticky stuff like cake mixtures, brownie mixtures, and anything that can really stick to my utensils, I like to take my cooking spray and I like to spray my utensil with it. And it just really helps the batter to, you know, be more in this bowl rather than to be on my spoon. So this calls for 50 stirs. And I kind of like to break the eggs up somewhat before I start stirring, because I like for them to really get mixed up in there. And so then I just start to really count. Now I have some other brownie recipes that I'll be making on here sometimes, especially around the holidays. And you guys will just love them. Okay, that's about 50 stirs. And that's all it really takes. So don't overdo it more than that, because what will happen is that even if you over stir anything that has flour in it, it can start to deflate it. I'm not sure how the chemistry of it works, but you don't want to deflate your brownie mixture or your cake mixtures. Now we're going to take our pan that we buttered and we greased with the cooking spray, and we are going to just pour our brownie mix into this pan. And you're going to be so glad that you buttered this pan with some butter and some cooking spray, because there's nothing like a little butter taste to your brownies. Now look at how easy this extra brownie mix is coming off of this spoon, because you sprayed cooking spray on it. And you're getting all your brownie mixture off the spoon just because you sprayed it with some non-stick spray. And I'll tell you, I do this with everything, with pizzas and all of that, whenever I'm a lot of my cooking. And we'll even make some homemade pizzas on this show one day. Now we're gonna just kind of shake our brownies out and get them even in the pan, and that's just about how they look. And so now it's just time to stick them in the oven and let them cook. And once they get done cooking, we'll be back, everyone. And we're back, and looky here. Whoa. Look at our brownies. They look so delicious. Don't that look yummy? Yeah. So now what we're gonna do, now that we have our brownies ready, I have a what do you call this? A skewer? I think I'm saying it correctly, but I don't know. But anyway, it's like a big toothpick. But anyway, I'm going to make several holes in my brownies. I'm just gonna go all the way around making holes. So we want our chocolate to get all deep down off into our brownies to give us that delicious ooey gooey taste. Hey Google, stop the timer. And I just took these out just a minute or two early because I checked them with the toothpick and they were, and the toothpick was clean. So that just showed me that the brownies were ready to come out of the oven. And you know, most ovens vary. Some of them are right on time. Some of them are 2 or 3 minutes late. Some are 2 or 3 minutes later. But this one is a little earlier than what the box said. Now, I want to show you the brownies, so I need to get another oven mitt so I can do that. Okay. And that's what your brownies look like with all the holes in it. Now, we are going to get our candy bars, and as everyone knows, Hershey's is the candy bar that everyone uses to make s'mores. So I'm just gonna use the Hershey's candy bar, and I'm just gonna lay it right on top of my brownies. And my brownies are still hot, so they're gonna get a good melting to go inside that brownie. It's gonna be so tasty. And you're just gonna love it. And so I'm just gonna cover the whole brownie up with these candy bars. Just like you would a s'more. Now, we could have used some graham crackers and made a graham cracker crust under the brownies. And if you guys want to try that, go right ahead, because cooking is trial and error. And so if you want to add your graham cracker taste, then go right ahead. I'll tell you another thing you can do is you can get some graham crackers, and after you put the marshmallows on top, you can crunch up some graham crackers and just sprinkle it right on top. And you'll still have that graham cracker flavor. I just don't have that today. But I'm guaranteeing you what I'm making right now is super tasty, because I've made it before. I've made it for my daughter's Girl Scout troop, and they just simply loved it. And I'm sure you guys are gonna love it too. And let me get this out of the way so it's in my way. And we're just gonna need about a piece of another candy bar. And that's gonna be it. And I can tell these chocolate bars are already starting to melt on top of these brownies. And this is about all we need for the rest of this pan. And so I'm getting ready to show you what this looks like. Okay, see that? Your candy bars are all on top of your brownies there. Now, our next step is we want to open up our brownies here. Let me get my trusty scissors and open this. There we go. Come back over here. And I kind of like my my marshmallows to be a little bit uniformed. You know, you can do yours however. It's kind of hard to spend a lot of time just getting them all just right on here. But to me, it's worth it. And you may find this worth it because you don't want to have marshmallows just stacked all on top of each other. And if you got an easier way of when you make your sweet potatoes with marshmallows or something like that, and you put your marshmallows on there and you get them on there evenly. That's why I said if you want to use big marshmallows, you can. Because any size will work for, let me get a napkin, this recipe. But I just so happen to like these small marshmallows. But they are time consuming. And so I have turned our oven on broil, and we are going to stick our brownies back in the oven to let our marshmallows get brown and let our chocolate melt just a little bit more. So, you guys, this is just a dessert you can get your grandkids or your kids to help you with. I don't have any grandchildren yet, and I have some pretty grown-up daughters, but as probably most women my age are finding out that we're not becoming grandmothers as fast as our mothers did. And so we're learning to live with that. So I gotta make goodies for everybody else now. I gotta make goodies for you guys and you guys that do have grandchildren already. Or you guys that have kids and wanna make something special to take to a night of fun or to have at a sleepover. This is something that you can do with a Girl Scout troop or with just a birthday party, sleepover, or just a sleepover just because, or just a party, birthday party, you know, a Halloween party, any of that kind of stuff, you know. This could even be done on Christmas. So, s'mores go along with any holiday if you ask me, Thanksgiving, Easter. So, just make this whenever you like. Because kids will love to make this. They can be a big part of it. They might not be a great part of the mixture of the brownie part, but putting these candy bars on and these marshmallows, they will be a great help to it. And so, just let them help. And I know if I had grandkids, I'll be letting them do this all the time. Okay, everybody, we got the marshmallows all the way on our brownies and covered up with our candy bars. And then what we're gonna do is take it over here to my oven, and we're gonna set it on top of a cookie sheet. And I have the light on the oven, so I'm gonna keep a really, really close eye on this, because you do not want your marshmallows to burn up. So here we go. So you guys, you know, a story about when I was growing up. When I was growing up, my grandmothers, both of them, my daddy's mother, her name was Helen, and my mother's name was Sidonia. And I tell you, they did not have Sunday dinner without dessert. We always had a dessert. And I don't know if other people in the other parts of the country do that, but in the South, you do not have a Sunday dinner without a dessert. Hey everybody, and we're back with our s'mores chocolate brownies. And as you can see, this looks so delicious here. Now, I have a little way that I cut my s'mores brownies. I use my handy dandy pizza cutter. I also will be adding some chocolate sauce here. And what I do with my pizza cutter is, in order to keep from everything sticking on it, I like to spray my pizza cutter. And that way, when I cut these brownies, the marshmallows and the chocolate and the brownies, all that stuff, won't stick all onto my knife or whatever. But I'm going to use a pizza cutter because it's just as good and it works out a lot easier. So let me spray it here. I'll spray both sides, and then you just bring it on in here, and you can see, look at that, almost really clean. Got a little bit on there, on the part where it was behind that blue part. Okay. That was just the part where I didn't get to spray any. Spray some now though. Alright, then we'll go this way. We'll leave some of them, a few of them, kind of big. And where is my spatula? Hold on, we gotta get our spatula. Alright, we're back. We got us a spatula here, and this spatula has a little part on it. And we're gonna bring our brownie up. Ooh, look at that. Doesn't that look so delicious? We're gonna set it on our plate here. And I didn't spray my spatula, I should have. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put just a little chocolate sauce on that. And now you guys, there she is. Now, should we see if we can get our secret taste tester out here? Because I don't know what she's doing, but we can try to find out. Hold on just a minute. All right, everybody, and guess what? We do have our secret taste tester today, and she is here. And here is her s'mores brownie right here. I'm sure she's just gonna love it. Here you go. And let me taste mine. I have it right here. And let's see how delicious this is. Oh, it looks so good. So tasty. It's pretty good.
I think it's a fun twist on a s'mores recipe.
Oh, it's so super good.
I love just how the marshmallows are just super gooey and they complement the brownie really well.
And like I said, let me get a napkin for me and you, because I know. Sorry, y'all. But you can do a lot with this. You can take some graham crackers, crunch them up on the top, make a graham cracker crust on the bottom, play around with this recipe. But this recipe is just super, super delicious. The candy bar and the marshmallow and the brownie all together, oh my goodness, it's so delicious. And I'll tell you, I would have had nuts in here for me, but my secret taste tester is not a nut person. But that's okay, just do it your way. But this right here, let me tell you, is divine deliciousness. Only one thing I've got to say again is watch your marshmallows, because your brownies are already going to be kind of warm and your chocolate is on there, and when you stick it in the oven, those marshmallows are going to cook quick. So watch them and you'll have a beautiful dessert and a tasty dessert. Get your kids and your grandkids in on it to put those marshmallows on there, and they'll have a lot of fun. Now let me show you this plate of the secret taste tester. 100% gone, so that tells you something, how good it actually is. Anyway, until next time, love you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell your friends about this. And leave me a message under the board where you can leave comments and tell me what you think about my recipes, or was it good? Did you try it? What you think about it? And I'd love to hear from you. All right, you guys. Till next time.